Are we really in a big tent? Like, is this really a big tent? Just asking. Hello. My name is Ashlee and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the primaries that happened last night. I was going to talk about Hassan and Abdul today in AOC, but we'll talk about that on Friday because last night was so frustrating and it gave me a lot of anxiety. So yeah, before we get into it, please like and subscribe and all the things. I am going to be posting a member video this Thursday. So I do have a membership. We're going to be going over the two Johns talking to each other. Last night was the primary in a few different places. And so I'm just like so upset. Of course, Francesca Hong was the one that everyone was watching, and she was going up against Crowley. Now I gotta say, I went to Wisconsin. I went to Oshkosh, Wisconsin like a few weeks ago, and all I got, and I don't even live in Wisconsin, I was just there for a week, right? And I was inundated with Crowley ads just consistently. I think I maybe saw one Francesca Hong ad, and it felt very reminiscent of what was going on here in St. Louis, where there was just shit tons of Wesley Bell ads all day long. And I saw like maybe one Cori Bush ad. It's interesting though, because I wasn't as worried about Francesca Hong because the polls were always saying that, oh, she was going to win. It was like double digits. She was leading the whole entire time. And Crowley had actually dropped out and then got back in because the governor, Tony Evers, whatever the hell, I don't care, F him, he didn't want a Democratic Socialist to win, I guess, or he was worried that she would lose the general and endorsed him. That was most of the commercials that I saw when I was there like a few weeks ago. Watching last night was so anxiety producing. Like eventually I just had to go to bed. Sorry, that's my cat in the background. If you hear like it's literally a ping pong ball. Actually, it's not a ping pong ball, it's a beer pong ball. Yeah, I'm talking about you. But she likes to kick it around. Anyway, so it was really anxiety producing just because the whole entire time it was like Francesca was up and then Crowley was up. Francesca was up and then Crowley was up. And it kept going back and forth. And the polls were all completely, entirely wrong. And something that, because I was watching Hassan while this was going on, and something that he said was that, you know, there are like, I think there was like over 800,000 votes. And this isn't a Democratic primary. And like one of the biggest problems within the St. Louis primary was just not a lot of people came out and voted. But there was a lot of voters in this one, which is like a good thing for Democrats in general, which is like, I guess, a good thing that, you know, it didn't matter really who won. The Democrats were probably going to win the general, and leave it to freaking corporate establishment Democrats to think that the people who can't win in a general are Democratic socialists and not them, even though they're the ones who kept losing to Trump. As you can tell, I'm very upset. I'm very upset. It's a weird feeling because like with Cori Bush, like I was just really upset because I was very invested and like personally invested, you know, but also because it was a big loss. But this one might be even worse because it was like so close. It was like half a percentage point. Like it wasn't even like, it was so crazy close that it's just frustrating because it's like, like how is it that close? What I'm getting from this, what I'm learning from this, what I'm gaining from this, what I think about this is that of course she was super incredibly close, right? And she would have won had Crowley not jumped back in, had he not spent millions of dollars on ads, literally like the week before the election. And this is something that the establishment Democrats tend to do. Something else that I think is similar to Cori Bush's raise, I think with Cori Bush, it was the same thing. It was just the amount of money. AOC did not endorse Cori Bush. She did not endorse Francesca Hong. Now, Bernie did endorse Cori Bush, but he did not endorse Francesca Hong. I'm not blaming it on them. Okay, I'm not blaming it on them. And I want AOC to run for president, and I think she's going to, and that makes me happy, and I will door knock, and I will do whatever I can. But I will say that I am fed up with particularly AOC. Bernie does this still, but to a lesser extent, I guess. I'm fed up with just, I don't know, trying to be safe or just trying to be a part of the big tent. They were just trying to play it safe because if they lose the governor to a Republican, then they don't want to be blamed. And, it's party politics. Every time AOC makes a bad decision, I feel like it's because of party politics. I feel like it's because she's trying to save her reputation or save her space within the Democratic Party. And I understand that we have to run in the Democratic Party, that the third party thing is just not going to work right now. And I get that. But I don't like how she plays it safe a lot of the time. And I understand that she's trying to be strategic or calculated or whatever, but I personally don't like it. And I personally think that if you are going to be as bold to run for president, which again, I think she will, if you are going to be that bold, then you need to start actually being that bold and stop playing it safe. And that's just my personal opinion. Of course, again, like, I don't hate her. I don't think she's horrible. I think she's good. But I do have my qualms with her. I think she'd be a better president than, Pete Buttigieg, 1,000%, right? But do I think that she still might be scared to do things because she's playing it safe now? Will she play it safe then? Yeah, maybe. She won't be playing it safe like Pete Buttigieg, but it'll be a different kind of playing it safe. And I just don't like it. I don't like it. And I mean, if it helps her become president, great, whatever. Good. I'm glad. And this is what it reminds me of. So something that happened after Wesley Bell won was there were people coming online, Jasmine Crockett being one of them, going on TV, all this stuff, saying that if you want an activist, vote for Cori Bush, or like you would have voted for Cori Bush. But if you want a representative, then you voted for Wesley Bell, then this is the person you want. It's such bullshit. It's such shit. Because, hell yeah, Cori Bush is an activist. She's an activist because she actually stands up and fights for the people of St. Louis. Because she stands up and fights for everyone. Wesley Bell does not represent St. Louis. He represents donors. He represents AIPAC. He represents corporations and the cryptocurrency market. That's what he represents. He doesn't represent the people. And so it's bullshit to say, oh, well, he's a representative. No, he's not. He's not. But he is a representative in establishment terms, right? He is what the establishment deems okay for a representative. Cori Bush, they think, is an activist. And seeing how close she got, I do think is a win. I don't think the media or the mainstream media is going to take it as a win. I think they're going to take it as a loss, and they're going to go after democratic socialists and be like, oh, see, it doesn't work in Wisconsin. Even though Wisconsin is literally where sewer socialism started. Even though Wisconsin has incredibly socialist roots, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But the simple fact that she could get so close, whereas like a couple years ago, it wouldn't have even been a fight. I do think that's an achievement. And I do think that given it a couple more years, Francesca Hong would win. Something I'm worried about is the Democrats, though, getting the House and getting the Senate and then doing absolutely nothing with it, and then getting back into this problem where people are like, well, we don't like the Democrats, they're do-nothing Democrats, and then we elect another Republican who is going to be worse because it's probably going to be Tucker Carlson. And I'm worried about that. Like, I'm actually worried about that. But a lot of like leftists are winning their primary races for Senate. Flanagan won her primary for Senate. So I do think that that's promising. I do think that like all these like leftists and Democratic socialists winning in the Senate is actually really amazing. I think it's really great because then maybe we could really pass some great stuff. Maybe we really could get stuff done. I am worried about the House, and it's just, and I want them to win. Like I don't want Republicans to win. I want Democrats to win. And I think with the turnout that we've seen in just these primaries, I do think Democrats are very engaged. So I do think that that's a good sign for the midterms, but I am worried. I'm worried about them owning the House and owning the Senate and still not doing anything, and still and just getting into this cycle of these Democrats who don't want to do anything, who are establishment. And they keep fighting the left who just wants to make things better. And then we keep getting in this cycle where we keep getting worse and worse Republicans. Her loss is so sad and I really hate it. And it makes me so sad. But very happy that Flanagan won. She had a really good quote in her speech that I want to show you.
Now let's talk about Donald Trump's out of control ICE force. We need to rip ICE apart and stop them from terrorizing our communities.
Yeah, and I think that's really important now because I just did a short actually on these new like taser gloves that ICE is going to have, which is psychotic. And they're going to spend up to $20 million on it, again, which is psychotic. I think, unfortunately, even though this was like literally like not even, God, it was so close. Like it was so close. Like it's actually really frustrating how close it is. I think this is worse, it being so close and you're just like, I think that unfortunately the media is going to take this and run with it and be like, see, Democratic socialists, they can't run in the Midwest. Even though there are other examples of this, of course, they are going to use that as an example and they're going to go after people. My big thing right now is I think just like educating people and getting people engaged in politics before the week before an election. Because unfortunately, that is also the problem. Is that establishment Democrats know that people aren't really paying attention until like right before the election. And so they spend millions of dollars right before the election to have all these ads. Because they have the money, they're able to just overwhelm voters with propaganda. It's frustrating that people don't pay attention until the week before. It's frustrating that people don't take this stuff seriously. I just wish people understood how incredibly important this stuff is, and how much it really does affect your life. And I think these primaries really show how much voting does matter, and how much one vote really does matter. Voting is so incredibly important, and I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, just vote, then your job is done. Like, no, like you need to organize, you need to, hold these people accountable, like definitely. And so, but it's still very important. And I don't know. I'm very sad. This was a very sad loss. We got to keep pushing. And I know all of the barrages of hate and propaganda and bullshit are just going to keep coming our way on the left. And I think we just have to keep pushing through it. And I think that the reason that the Democrats and Republicans are actively working together to go against leftists, it's really wild. The Democrats never fight Republicans like this, but they will damn well fight leftists like this. It's really crazy. It really is the uniparty. I think what we're doing is working. I think the DSA is an incredible organization and they're doing so much good. Anyway, that's the video today. Tell me what you think below. And I will have a members video out tomorrow. It's going to be about Jon Stewart and John Fetterman talking. And then on Friday, it's going to be Abdul, AOC, Hassan, and then Morning Joe having a crash out because that was hilarious. And all right, I will see you in the next video. Love you all. Bye.